Hey everyone, it's Melissa. So today I'm going to talk about this foundation. It is from Smith & Colt. I had not heard of this line, and I was at Ulta kind of browsing around with Kristen, and I saw a display for this foundation, and what impressed me, well, was it said that it lasted a long time, up to 12 hours, but that it was called a micro blurring foundation. I thought, well, shoot fire, at my age, I need all the blurring I can get. So I looked at it and I noticed that it had colors from just a whole display, row after row of colors, from the very lightest, palest to the very darkest, and it was subdivided into warm, cool, and neutral. So it had just such a wonderful display of products. It advertised that it had aloe vera in it and that it was somewhat hydrating. I thought, well, that's not going to work for me because I don't like any kind of hydration on my skin. But then it talked about it being 12 hours, so I thought, well, let me just give it a try. You know, Ulta doesn't let you take a sample of it and try it to take it with you. So what I did was I squirted some on the back of my hand and inside my wrist and just kind of walked around the store. And then when it dried and I looked at it and I felt of it, I thought, that does not feel greasy to me at all. It feels nice. It feels comforting. So I thought, well, I had some extra money from a gift card. And I thought, well, that might be a nice way to spend my money on a gift card, buying something that probably I normally wouldn't have spent my own money on. So I did buy it. And I have been wearing it. Let's see, I bought it weeks ago. It was still hot when I bought it. And so I thought, well, that'll be a good test of it because we had that really, really, terrible heat in September. And I thought, well, that'll be a good test for it to see how it does. And, it ran into October. And I wore it and it lasted just beautifully. It would last, I would take off my makeup at night. The rest of my makeup would be gone because makeup doesn't last real well on me. But my foundation would still look nice and fresh. So it really did last 12 hours on me. And this heat with my skin that doesn't normally take to any kind of moisture and actually has oil that comes through. So I did like that. So I thought, well, here's what I'm going to do now. In the fall and winter, we are down. We've had some days, we had some snow, we've had some days now, we just skipped fall and went right to winter. And we've had some freezing. I thought, I'm going to be trying it out and seeing how it does in the really cold weather. And when the weather changes with my retin-A and my hydroquinone and my vitamin C and my acid, I tend to, start some peeling again. And that's what I did. So I thought, well, let's see how it does with the peeling. And let's see how it does with it being really, really cold weather. So I have tested it out before, but I'm going to test it out today for the camera because I've got to tell you, I'm impressed with this foundation. I just think it is beautiful. I'm going to show a clip of me putting it on right now. I do half of my face. I tried it with a beauty blender. I didn't like it because it sheared it out too much. When I first put this on with my fingers for the first time and with a brush, I was disappointed the first day I used it because I thought, well, this just doesn't have any kind of coverage at all. But it was deceiving. As I started putting it on, I thought, well, I'm just going to have to do tons and tons of stuff. But I didn't have to. I did my first squirt and I put it on with my fingers. And as I was getting ready to add more to it, I thought, I don't need to. It's covering. It's covering, spots that I have around my hairline, my old lady spots. It's not settling into my old lady wrinkles. I couldn't believe it. This is an impressive foundation. I don't know how it would do with very, very dry skin. With oily skin, it does a good job, I think. With normal skin, it does a good job. I feel like I have normal skin. It isn't dry, but it isn't real oily either. So I'm going to test it out today. It is a cold day, but it is also a day I'm going to be super busy. I'm having, you can see things, you can see sleeping bags on the floor. I'm having grandkids over to spend the night tonight. I've got to do some shopping. I've got to do some cooking. I've got a birthday coming up. I'm doing some Christmas decorating. I'm filming that. I've just got got to run by the office. I've got a ton of stuff to do today where I just won't have time to touch up my makeup. So I'm going to come back at the end of the day, and I may have kids stuff all over the place, but that'll be okay. I want y'all to see what it looks like at the end of the day and see what I think of this. But I've worn it for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm kind of disappointed now when I put on other foundations. Even my Lancome Stick Foundation and even my Laura Mercier Silk Cream Foundation. I am somewhat disappointed when I put those on because they don't look quite as nice as this one does. You know, I repurchased my other foundations, of course, because those two are my favorite, the Laura Mercier and the Lancome Stick Foundation. I love those. I think they're beautiful. They're just lovely. But this one, so far, I'll show you at the end of the day, it has a little something extra to it that is just flawless without having to put on too much. This is going to last me a long time because I just have to do a little bit. I just do one squirt and it will cover, especially with my fingers. Now, if I use my my brush, it does, I have to squirt a little bit extra because the brush kind of absorbs it a little bit. But the brush gives a wonderful finish too, and I really like it. So I'm going to show you with my makeup done up close. So I will see you all at the end of the day. So I came back the next night. I forgot to do it the night of. Came back the next night. Now, it was even a busier night, but it feels to me like I still have on foundation. It stays better than my Lancome, which had always stayed the best. I'm really pleased with it. I really like it a whole lot. And I'm glad that I've got it in my rotation. So thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.